Now, against all the backdrop of all this chaos in the US and across the rest of the world, we'll get into a little bit of that shortly, Trump is headed to the G7 summit in Canada. And would you believe it? Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has finally been able to organise a meeting with the President. He was the Prime Minister today.
I look forward to building on the very constructive phone conversations that we've had on the 3 occasions that we've had the opportunity to talk. So I obviously will raise tariffs, we'll raise the importance as well of AUKUS, and we will have a discussion as two friends should.
He's talking about being friends now. I mean, it was only a couple of months ago he didn't even know if Trump had a mobile phone.
Just quickly, you got his number? You texting?
I'm not sure that he has a mobile phone, the US President, or Joe Biden. It's not the way it works.
Oh, really?
When you have with any global leader.
Gee, it's been a swift turnaround for your mate, hasn't it,
He's
Joe?
a great guy. Of course they're friends. They're two great guys. I'd say they're probably the greatest friendship. Probably the greatest friendship. He's a fine man, very fine man. Yeah, no, it's absolutely right. So when you do get a phone call with the president, so the last one that Albo had that had been arranged for like weeks in advance and then just happened to take place 24 hours after Trump announced the tariff stuff, you have to go to, you can't just go, you do not just text the US president. You have to go into a fully secure room. I don't know, understand all the technology and everything, but it's top secret. It's a fully secure line, fully secure room and all this stuff. I think it's great that he's got a formal meeting with him. I reckon they will come out with a deal. And it's just another example of Prime Minister Anthony Albanese being a pragmatic, centrist, pro-United States, patriotic Prime Minister of Australia.
Off the long run, Jamie, you're going to put Joe back in his place?
Yeah, we aren't friends. If you look at Albo and Trump, and I think this is going to be one of the most important meetings of Albo's career because tensions are at an all-time high between us and the US in terms of our stance on Israel and the sanctions on the Israeli ministers, where we are with our defence spending and the US wanting us to increase it, where we are with trade and our relationship with China. And I think it is such an important asset to have, being friends with the President and the US. And we need to know who our friends are in this geopolitical landscape where it's so uncertain right now. And hopefully, depending on how Trump's feeling on Wednesday morning, that they might get a commitment on AUKUS. But what does Australia really have to offer right now? What can we say to Trump that we can bring to this relationship that will make him want to actually do a deal with us and be friends? Because right now, Australia is going in a very different direction to what the US is.
Well, we're going to let them send some beef, I believe, to Australia, so that'll be a real game changer. Part of me wonders, Evelyn, whether Trump's relationship with Albanese now, because of course Trump was elected in November and then took the job up in January, and all that time where he and Albo had no interaction really whatsoever, Albanese goes and wins the election, and all of a sudden, Trump actually takes the time to have some phone calls with him. Part of me wonders whether Trump actually just likes relating to winners a bit and seeing the thumping majority that Albanese was able to pull in that election. And famously, he said he didn't even know the name of Peter Dutton. He actually might have a little bit of respect for the guy now.
Maybe he does. I hope so. I hope he has respect for him, even if we are, most of the country don't. Because, like you said, Jamie, this is possibly the most important alliance as a nation that we could have, especially moving forward with literally the world being on fire right now. If we don't have even like a military alliance or a friendship with America, I think we're cooked, to be honest. And JD Vance, the Vice President, said not long ago as a warning, he said for other nations to heed his warning, if you don't share American values, you don't get American help. And what's the one thing that Australia don't share that America do is freedom. We are the most nanny state that you could possibly imagine. Our government is our God, is our mum and dad, and we get them to put our Band-Aids on and lick our wounds, and Trump is not for that. So I hope...
Do the line, Evelyn. Do the line.
Govern me harder, Daddy. That is our country.
I was waiting for it.
And so I hope that for some weird reason, Trump is fooled by the polls and that he does respect Albo for all of our sakes.
The one thing, of course, that'll come up, particularly around AUKUS, is GDP, percentage of GDP that is spent on the military. And of course, the federal government has said that they intend to increase it. But this could be a real sticking point with the US, Kel.
It could, and Trump is not going to put up with arguments. Trump, remember, spends his life surrounded by people whose only conversation with him is yes, sir. Right? That's Trump's mode of operation. And with global leaders, if they are not taking his line and they upset him, we've seen what he did with Volodymyr Zelensky and with Cyril Ramaphosa. Now, there was a really interesting piece by James Morrow in the Daily Telegraph in which he said he thinks he has good reason for thinking Albanese is terrified of Trump. Albo actually said it at the Blues Festival at Byron Bay. He said, I'm scared. Now, and James thinks there's good evidence that that's how he feels. Trump is a big man. He's very articulate. He's very strong. He's very clear. His IQ is about a dozen points above Albanese's. I can understand him being frightened. Now, I hope something good comes out of this for Australia. But I think it's going to be an unequal relationship.
I think he might be glad the meeting's not happening.
Albo is not frightened, and they will come out of it with a deal, and I guarantee there will be.
I hope so.
Well, we will. Let's clip that one up. The producers out there, clip that one up. We'll come back to it in a week. He may well be glad, though, that this meeting is not happening in front of cameras at the White House, because, as Kel alluded to, there have been a few dicey episodes recently.